He worked every single day for 30 long years. And yet, when he looked at his hands, he still had nothing. He was the hardest worker anyone had ever known, but he was also the most tired man in the world. Meet a man named Elias. Elias is a man who truly believes in the power of effort. He lives in a small, quiet house on the edge of a busy town. Every morning, he wakes up long before the sun touches the grass. He puts on his favorite dark reddish-brown sweater. He pulls on his simple beige pants and ties his black shoes. He looks into the mirror with eyes that feel heavy. His white hair is messy, but he does not take the time to brush it. He believes that every second spent resting is a second wasted. He does not want to be lazy. He wants to provide and he wants to succeed. The world around him is waking up slowly and calmly. But inside, Elias is already running a race that has no finish line. Elias has a very heavy wooden cart. Every day he fills this cart with heavy, jagged stones. He pulls this cart up a very steep and dusty hill. The sun beats down on his large white head. The sweat drips down into his eyes, making them sting. His hands are covered in small cuts and rough calluses. His back aches with a sharp pain that never truly goes away. He feels this pain every time he takes a breath. He looks up and sees other people at the top of the hill. They are sitting on benches and talking to their friends. They look refreshed, and they look very happy. Elias feels a deep and heavy sense of frustration in his chest. He thinks to himself that he must be doing something wrong. He wonders why he is working so much harder than everyone else. He is working more hours than any of his neighbors. He skips his lunch so he can move more stones. He misses the quiet dinners with his family at home. He misses the sound of his children playing in the yard. He only knows the sound of the wooden wheels grinding in the dirt. He hears that sound in his sleep every single night. He fears that if he stops for even 1 minute, he will fail. He fears that he is not doing enough to be a good man. So he tells his tired legs to keep moving forward. He pushes until his legs begin to shake like leaves. He pushes until his lungs feel like they are on fire. But the hill always feels longer and steeper than before. His mind is a constant storm of must-haves. He is trapped in a prison of his own hard work. He is completely exhausted, but he is not actually getting anywhere. He thinks that more sweat will eventually lead to more peace. He thinks that more pain will eventually lead to more joy. But the joy never comes, and the peace feels like a dream. One Tuesday afternoon, the wooden wheel of his cart broke. It snapped with a loud, sharp crack that echoed through the trees. Elias sat down right there in the middle of the dusty road. He felt a cold wave of sadness wash over him. Everything he had worked for had suddenly come to a stop. He felt like he had failed everyone he loved. An old woman happened to be walking down the hill. She was carrying a small, light basket made of straw. She did not look tired or stressed at all. She looked at Elias and his heavy pile of gray stones. She did not offer to help him pull the heavy cart. Instead, she asked him a very simple and quiet question. "Elias, why are you moving these stones one by one?" Elias stopped and blinked his wide eyes in confusion. He realized that he did not actually have a good answer. "Because I have to work hard to be successful," he said. The old woman. "There is a small river that flows around the base," she said, "and there is a flat path that follows the water." Elias had been so busy pushing that he never looked around. He had been too tired to ever lift his head from the dirt. His heart skipped a beat as he looked at the easy path. He realized he had spent years choosing the hardest way. He had mistaken his suffering for his strength. The woman smiled and walked away into the trees. Elias did not start pushing the cart again right away. He stayed sitting by the broken wheel for a very long time. He looked at the 100 stones piled in his cart. He realized that most of them were just plain heavy rocks. They were not special and they were not actually needed. He began to take the stones out of the cart, one by one. He chose only the 3 most beautiful and useful stones. He left the rest of the heavy pile on the side of the road. Suddenly, his cart felt light for the first time in his life. He could lift the front of it with just one of his hands. Then he looked closely at the broken wooden wheel. He did not try to drag the broken cart through the mud. He walked into the woods and found a piece of fallen oak. It was strong, and it was already somewhat round. He sat down and used a small knife to carve the wood. He focused all of his energy on making it perfectly round. He took his time, and he did not rush the process. For the first time, he was not rushing toward the top. He was thinking about the best way to get there. He fixed the wheel with great care and attention. He stood up and brushed the dust from his beige pants. He walked toward the flat, smooth path by the river. He walked with a steady, easy rhythm in his black shoes. He noticed the color of the flowers for the first time. He heard the beautiful song of the birds in the branches. The cart moved behind him with a gentle and happy hum. He reached the top of the hill in half the usual time. He was not sweating and his heart was not pounding. He was not in any pain when he reached the summit. He had more energy than when he had started his day. He had time to sit on a bench and watch the sun go down. He realized that his mind was actually his greatest tool. He understood that work is not about how much you suffer. It is about how much you think before you act. He felt a peace that he had never known before. We are so often like Elias in our own daily lives. We think that if we are not exhausted, we are being lazy. We think that being busy is the same thing as being useful. But our lives were never meant to be a constant struggle. Are you pushing a heavy cart full of stones today? Maybe you are working 12 hours just to feel important. Maybe you are saying yes to everyone else but yourself. And yet you feel like you are just standing in the same place. We must learn to stop and look for the flat path. We must learn to fix the wheel instead of dragging the cart. You deserve to have time for the people you love. You deserve to breathe and to see the beauty around you. Hard work is a beautiful gift, but only when it has a clear goal. Ask yourself why you are carrying those heavy stones. Don't let your effort become a cage that locks you inside. Be brave enough to stop, to sit down, and to think. The best way is not always the hardest way. Effort without a clear direction is just empty noise. A sharp and rested mind does more than a tired back. Stop running for a moment and look at the path ahead. The smartest way is often the one you haven't seen yet. Work with your heart, but always lead with your mind. Weo said sharp and rested mind. Yoch. Work with your heart, but always lead with your mind. Your life is waiting for you to look up. Don't just work hard. Work in a way that lets you live.